I'm interested in what Steve's talking about. Steve, what are you talking about? It says on my call board, the only reason this gets any coverage is because it involves Jews. What is that? What are you talking about?
He's no longer relevant. I mean, Hitler's no longer relevant. This recent execution, it's really only relevant to the point that, yeah, okay, you're going to execute him. Yeah, he's a bad guy. Let's get on with it. But just hammering on it all the time. It's because we're supposed to take notice because the crime involved Jews. And when it involves somebody else, there's no coverage of it. So what's the big deal? I mean, why are they so much more special of a group that their suffering is so much better or bigger than everybody else?
What?
I mean, we all suffer.
Yeah.
Their suffering isn't any worse than any of the rest of us.
Who's suffering? To Jews?
Yeah. Apparently we're all, every day, I don't know how many times a day we have to hear about Israel.
Oh,
Israel's
because
not
that's a
part of
bad
the United
thing?
States.
Is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing to talk about it?
No, it's not a bad thing to talk about it, but
okay.
there's a point where that's enough. We have too much dialogue about Israel. Israel is not our concern. Israel is Israel's concern.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay.
All right?
You're not.
This is the United States.
Yeah.
They're not the
sure.
51st state.
So we ignore all the allies we
you
ever
think they're
had.
the 51st state. You think that they're the government, but they're not.
We shouldn't talk about anybody. We should only talk about the United States and never talk about it like any other countries ever. I didn't even want to really.
To the extent.
I didn't even want to talk about the oceans.
It involves us. Israel doesn't concern us.
Yeah,
it's not our business.
I don't even want to talk about the oceans.
You don't. You don't want to talk about it because you're going to whip out the anti-Semite club and start whipping it around.
I don't have any such tool.
And then we're going to talk about Rudolf Hitler and all the other BS nonsense.
Is he related to Adolf?
Move on. I mean, how many
Rudolph
times,
or Adolf?
I don't like. Okay,
I thought it was
don't
Adolf.
like Obama, but how many times can we harp on Obamacare every single day for hours on end on these conservative talk shows? We talk about it.
It's because of
and then we bring up Hitler again, and Hitler's thrown in there for good measure.
Rudolph
Hitler's
or Adolf?
no longer relevant.
Rudolph or Adolf?
Rudolph.
Okay.
Hitler was almost 80 years ago. It's over.
That's the
Time
holiday
to move
Hitler.
on. Right?
I appreciate you calling.
You get the full story about the real Rudolph Hitler.
I know. Well, because they try to mask it with like Santa and stuff.
Right.
It's just,
Yeah. Well,
I know,
we'll get into
to
Santa.
Jews,
We can
right?
talk about some
To
other
Jews.
stuff that's Santa Claus stuff.
I appreciate you calling in, Steve. Thank you. Thanks for that.